So the engineer has been and signed off the seats. So I've got the all clear to finish that off now. I'm going to go ahead and lay that last timber panel. I've already started filling the gaps on the rest of the floor because it's time to prep the floor for the lino. This is one of those jobs that has to be done before I do anything else in the bus now, because I'm at the point where I can start the fit out. Any joins in the timber, I'm just filling in between them. I've still got to do that one, so I'll sand those back, give the floor a light sand to remove any debris and dirt, and then go around all the edges and fill the edges so I've got a nice contour for the lino to wrap up, because the lino is going to curve up like a bowl and go underneath the wall lining, so anything can drip down. It all ends up on the lino. It can easily be cleaned up. So I just got to give this a quick sand. I did this the other night. It's drying off nicely. Alright, so that's the floor, sanded and prepped. Got a nice smooth contour now, no ripples, no lumps, because when you lay lino, any small bit of grain or lump or defect is going to be magnified by the lino. Where I've taken it down a bit, I will just give that another touch up with some undercoat. But first I'm going to get this panel screwed in. Super important anytime you're drilling into steel, make sure you get all the swarf cleaned up ASAP, because it travels fast if you don't do it straight away, and anywhere where that goes it will start the rust process, so get rid of it as soon as you can. What we're going to do is vacuum the surface of the floor, then I'm actually going to lift this timber floor up and get the swarf from underneath as well, because it'll be all over the show. Now we're just getting that Dulux metal shield and Penetrol mix left over from last time I painted this steel. It's the same paint. If you haven't seen it, just catch up on the other video and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to dab it over the screw holes I've just done, and it'll also seal off the screw, because I'm going to put the screws in when the paint's wet. Very tight. Right, now I'm going to go ahead, countersink all these holes with a countersink bit. Sweet, done. Now we'll just clean up all the mess, fill all these cracks in here, and then we're good to go.
Like this?
Yep. While she's filling those holes, I'm going to get onto the silicone. So I'm just using a general purpose silicone sealant. Not too fast on what it is, it just needs to be flexible. The trick with silicone is a bowl of warm soapy water. You do your bead, get your finger wet and smooth it out with your finger. It's cold, middle of winter, and all my windows are frozen shut. But today we are laying the lino. So I finished prepping the floor, filled all the gaps, sanded it, and now we're just going to go around, clean everything, and cut the lino to shape. Oh, that was a bit harder than I'd hoped. Because it's so cold, the lino's gone real brittle and it's hard to push around, but I think I've got it in as best as I'm going to get it. It's longer than I need, so I'm going to trim off any excess once I've got it where I need it up here. But what I'm going to do is measure a centre line on the front and back, so that middle channel you're not going to have a skewed. The timber panels aren't going to be skewed, they're going to be straight to the eye, because you're going to see that when it's up against the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff. So I want to get that as straight as possible. So I'm just going to take a middle point, mark it on the lino up here, mark it on the lino down there, and get it as close as I can to centre. So now what I'm going to do is take a fresh bladed Stanley knife and I'm going to cut the excess off down there. I'll show you what I'm doing actually, because it's probably worth you understanding why I'm doing it like I am. So up until here it's a 12mm ply floor, and the boot space, the garage so to speak, from here is 18mm ply floor, because it's bracing water tanks and it's going to have a lot of gear in there, so I wanted a higher, denser floor. So what I'm going to do is I'll finish the lino where the ply meets, and then the garage space, so this area here is going to be a separate sheet of lino. So what I'm going to do is give a rough cut and get rid of this excess, so it makes the lino easy to handle while I'm doing the main floor. Alright, lino centre, we're going to do a rough cut around the wheel arch, because that's the first bit that needs to go to get this lino even. I've done the rough cuts. I haven't done the precise cuts because I'm going to trim it once it's glued down. What I'm going to do now is quickly blow off any dust and debris with a leaf blower, and then I'm going to peel up one side, glue that, leave that, peel up the other side and glue that. I'm going to do it, split it down the middle and do it that way, rather than lifting up the back and going front to back, just because I think it's less likely to skew the sheet when I lay it. Who knows? I've actually never done lino before, so learn from my mistakes if I make any. I haven't yet, but we'll see how we go. I don't want to make any calls just yet. So I've decided to go with a carpet tile adhesive instead of a vinyl adhesive. And the reason for that is the carpet tile adhesive remains tacky. It doesn't dry off. And it just gives me the ability to lift lino if I have to at any point down the track. Who knows if it's the right decision to make, but it's a decision I made in the shop at the time when I was going to get the vinyl adhesive. So who knows, it says it's suitable for this material and gluing on the plywood. We'll see how we go. It's a water-based adhesive. You paint it on, let it dry off, tack off slightly, and it will go tacky. And then it's a pressure adhesive, so you just roll it out. I'm going to use a level to push over the lino and smooth out any bubbles. It says to use a weighted roller. I don't have one. I'll just use a level and body weight. Alright, done that part anyway. I've still got to do the back bit, but I'm gonna probably trim all the trim off first and just make sure none of this lifts and no bubbles arise before I start concentrating on the back. But I'm pretty happy with that, man. It looks good. I'm gonna get a nice new blade on the knife and start trimming off these corners. Just laying the last of the lino now. So I'm just waiting for it to tack off and then taking this level with a rag strapped around it so it doesn't scratch the lino. And just adding a bit of pressure as I go. Alright, that's the lino done. Just got it pinned down with some lead weights while it dries off, and I'm going to carry on doing some other stuff, but that's it. I didn't actually make any mistakes and I'm real happy with how it turned out. So first time laying lino and pretty stoked with it. Got it quite nice around all the edges. This is where it steps up to a thicker ply for the boot space, and cut nicely around all the edges. I've got it cupped up around the sides to capture any water from leakage, and I've cut the hatch out and put the trims back on and cut around all the stuff. I'm going to have a steel trim along the edges on this one to hide the cut edge. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, I hope this video was some use to you guys, or if you're just watching because you're interested, then I hope you liked it. But I'll probably finish there, I'll pack up my tools and get cracking on the next job, so we'll see you in the next video.